Japan's oldest doctor. 5. Morning sins that quietly trigger strokes after 60. What if I told you that the most dangerous room in your house is your bedroom? And that every single morning you participate in a secret ritual that could be methodically plotting against your own life? This isn't science fiction. This is the stark reality for millions over the age of 60. We spend fortunes on medications and supplements. We worry about falls. We change our diets. But we completely ignore the invisible warfare happening within our own bodies in the first 60 minutes of the day. A 105-year-old doctor in Japan, a man I will refer to as the centenarian sage, has dedicated more than 7 decades of his life to a single question. Why do some people grow frail and decline, while others remain vibrant and strong well past 90? His answer is shocking in its simplicity. He says the body sends whispers long before it screams, and the loudest whispers are heard in the morning. He has identified 5 common morning habits that he calls the 5 morning sins. These are not dramatic mistakes. They are quiet, seemingly harmless routines that have become so ingrained in our culture that we never think to question them. Yet each one is a violation against your body's natural rhythm, a small act of self-sabotage that, day after day, stiffens your arteries, suffocates your brain cells, and winds the spring on a catastrophic vascular event. This is the hidden knowledge that separates a long, healthy life from a slow, preventable decline. Now, before we unmask these 5 sins, I need you to look in the mirror. This isn't just a survey, it's a moment of truth. Which of these 3 common morning reflexes is your go-to? 1. The digital grasp. Your phone is in your hand. Its blue light on your face before your feet have even touched the floor. 2. The caffeine dash. You make a beeline for the coffee pot, needing that jolt before a single drop of water passes your lips. 3. The panic launch. You spring out of bed, rushing into the day as if a starting gun has gone off. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself and with us. In the comments below right now, type guilty of 1, guilty of 2, or guilty of 3. If you're like most people, you might even be typing guilty of all 3. Don't be shy. The first step to disarming a trap is admitting you're in it. Your confession could be the wake-up call someone else needs to read today. The sage teaches that the routine is the real warning. We wait for the cinematic symptoms, the sudden numbness in an arm, the slurred speech, the blinding headache, but that's the final act of a tragedy that was written, scene by scene, every morning for years. The real warnings were the things you dismissed: the chronic morning brain fog, the nagging tightness behind your eyes, the momentary dizziness you brushed off as just getting older. Let's expose the first and most pervasive of these morning sins, the one that sets the stage for all the others. The aroma of brewing coffee is, for many, the very scent of morning itself. It's a sacred ritual, a comforting promise that the day is about to begin. But what if this beloved ritual is a profound betrayal of your body's most fundamental need? After 8 hours of breathing, perspiring, and cellular repair, your body wakes up in a state of significant dehydration. This isn't a minor issue. Think of your blood. Healthy, hydrated blood is about 92% water, flowing smoothly like a river. Dehydrated blood is thicker, more viscous, like sludge. The sage calls it cerebral sludge. Now picture your heart, a magnificent but aging pump, having to strain with every beat to force this thick, sticky fluid through a network of narrowing pipes, especially fighting gravity to push it up into the delicate vessels of your brain. This strain alone causes your blood pressure to surge. On a cellular level, it's even more terrifying. Your brain cells are like tiny, plump grapes, thriving on hydration. Dehydration slowly turns them into withered raisins, less efficient and more vulnerable to damage. The sage shared a chilling story of a patient, a proud former schoolteacher named Eleanor, who was in her late 70s. She was fiercely independent, but complained of constant morning fatigue and confusion. She insisted, "I'm just not a water person." Her morning ritual was 2 strong cups of black coffee. One morning, she had a minor stroke, not a devastating one, but enough to steal a piece of her memory. The doctors found no single cause, but the sage knew. It was death by 1,000 mornings of dehydration. The sacred solution. This first glass of water in the morning is not for pleasure, it is a prescription. The doctor's orders are precise and non-negotiable for brain health after 60. The what? 12 to 16 ounces, about half a liter, of lukewarm or room temperature water. The why? Cold water is a shock to the system. It can cause the vagus nerve to fire and your blood vessels to constrict, which is the exact opposite of our goal. Lukewarm water is absorbed more easily, gently waking up your organs without a fight. The upgrade. Add a tiny pinch of natural sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. This isn't for flavor. It's to restore the essential electrolytes, sodium and potassium, that regulate fluid balance in your cells. This turns simple water into a super-hydrating elixir. Keep it on your nightstand. Make it the very first thing that touches your lips. It is an act of anointing your brain for the day ahead. The alarm clock is an enemy. It signals urgency. We are conditioned to respond instantly, to spring out of bed and attack the day. In youth, this felt like vigor. After 60, it's a form of repeated, self-inflicted violence. That dizzy, lightheaded feeling you get, the head rush, is not a harmless quirk of getting older. The sage calls it a vascular micro-injury. It is your body's emergency siren, telling you that your brain was just momentarily starved of oxygen. Here's the hidden physics of it. When you are lying flat, blood is distributed relatively evenly. The moment you rocket to a standing position, gravity becomes your enemy. It viciously pulls a large volume of blood down into your legs and abdomen. For a few critical seconds, the pressure in your brain plummets. Your body's survival system detects this and launches a hypertensive counterattack. It floods your system with adrenaline, forcing your heart to hammer like a drum, to shoot blood back up to your head. This violent sequence, a plunge followed by a spike, is like taking a delicate glass pipeline and repeatedly hitting it with a small hammer. Day after day, it creates hairline cracks, weakening the arterial walls, making them brittle and prone to catastrophic failure. The sacred solution. To counteract this, the sage teaches a simple, elegant practice he calls the sunrise sequence. It honors your body's need for a graceful transition. 1. Roll. Before anything else, gently roll onto your side. This is the first gentle signal to your circulatory system that a change is coming. 2. Sit and breathe. Use your arms to push yourself up to a sitting position on the edge of your bed. Plant both feet firmly on the floor. Now, the most important part, pause. Take 3 deliberate, deep breaths. In through the nose for 4 counts, hold for a moment, and out through the mouth for 6. Feel the ground beneath your feet. 3. Rise. Only when you feel completely settled and the room is still, slowly and consciously stand up. This sequence adds maybe 15 seconds to your morning. In exchange, you eliminate a major daily assault on your brain's health. You are choosing grace over gravity. Before your mind has had a chance to greet the day, your hand, as if with a mind of its own, reaches for your phone. You tell yourself it's just to check the time or the weather. But it's a lie. It's a portal to chaos. The moment that harsh blue light floods your retinas and your brain is ambushed by negative news, work emergencies, political arguments, or even just the overwhelming scroll of social media, your nervous system declares a state of emergency. It doesn't distinguish between a saber-toothed tiger and a stressful email from your boss. The response is the same. You are yanked from the calm, restorative alpha or theta brainwave state of sleep directly into the high alert, anxious beta state. A chemical cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline floods your bloodstream. These aren't just stress hormones, they are inflammatory agents. Cortisol makes the inner walls of your blood vessels stickier, making it easier for plaque and clots to form. You are, quite literally, injecting chaos and inflammation into your body before you've even had a sip of water. The sacred solution: you must reclaim your sovereignty. The sage advises a strict 30-minute technology curfew upon waking. For the first 30 minutes of your day, your phone is a brick. It does not exist. This is your sacred, unscheduled time. Connect with light. Open the curtains. Let natural sunlight hit your face. This helps reset your circadian rhythm and naturally suppresses melatonin. Connect with breath. Sit in a comfortable chair and do 10 rounds of deep, conscious breathing. This calms the nervous system and oxygenates your blood. Connect with intention. Ask yourself a simple question. What is one thing that would make today great? Set a positive intention instead of reacting to the world's demands. You are the guardian at the gate of your mind. Do not let the Trojan horse of technology roll in and conquer your peace before the day has even begun. But I practice intermittent fasting, you might say. Skipping breakfast is good for me. This is one of the most dangerous modern health trends when misapplied to the aging body. The sage is clear. While fasting has its place, the morning window for a body over 60 is a sacred time for stability, not deprivation. Your brain weighs only about 3 pounds, but it consumes 20% of your body's energy. After an overnight fast, its glucose reserves are at rock bottom. When you deny it fuel, your brain perceives a famine. It triggers the release of cortisol to force your liver to dump emergency sugar into the bloodstream. This creates a volatile spike, followed by a crash. You are putting your body on a blood sugar roller coaster. Now, pour coffee into this empty, stressed, and unstable system. It's like throwing a lit match into a puddle of gasoline. The caffeine, with no food to buffer it, mainlines adrenaline into your system, further constricting your arteries and placing immense strain on your heart. That mid-morning crash, the irritability, the inability to find your keys, that is the cry of a starving brain. The sacred solution. The goal is not to stuff yourself. The goal is to fuel for stability, not fullness. Your first meal should be a small, strategic offering to your brain within the first hour of waking. Protein is paramount. It provides slow, steady energy. Think a single, hard-boiled egg, a scoop of plain Greek yogurt, or a handful of almonds and walnuts. Healthy fats are friends. They support brain function. a quarter of an avocado on a whole grain cracker, or a spoonful of nut butter. Warmth is welcoming. For those with zero appetite, a warm, soothing option like a cup of bone broth or a simple bowl of oatmeal can gently wake up the digestive system without overwhelming it. This small brain meal is a signal of safety. It tells your body the famine is over. You can stand down from high alert. You're awake, hydrated, and motivated. You want to be productive, so you jump right into making the bed, lifting the laundry basket, or heading out for a brisk walk. But your body is still in a state of sleep inertia. The sage uses a powerful analogy. Your muscles and arteries in the morning are like a cold rubber band. If you try to stretch it violently, what happens? It snaps. Your blood vessels are naturally more constricted and less pliable after a night of rest. When you suddenly engage in strenuous activity, even something as simple as bending over quickly to tie your shoes, you create a massive, instantaneous demand for blood and oxygen. Your heart has to suddenly shift from idle to redline, causing another dangerous pressure spike. The sage tells of a patient, a lovely woman who loved gardening, who felt a sudden, sharp pop in her neck while vigorously making her bed. It was a small arterial dissection caused by the sudden strain on a cold, unprepared vessel. Even a very hot shower is a form of exertion shock, causing blood vessels to dilate too rapidly, which can lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure, dizziness, and a high risk of falling. The sacred solution. Before you demand work from your body, you must first give it a gift. The gift is a 5-minute awakening ritual. This is not exercise. It is a conversation with your body. Gentle neck tilts. Slowly tilt your head from side to side, then gently look up and down. Never force it. Shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Do 5 in each direction to release tension. Spinal twists. While sitting, gently twist to look over one shoulder, then the other. Ankle and wrist circles. Wake up your extremities. This simple act tells your brain where your body is in space. This ritual is a buffer zone between the world of sleep and the world of action. It lubricates your joints, improves circulation gradually, and prepares your vascular system for the demands of the day. So, there they are, the 5 morning sins that silently steal our vitality. 1. Worshipping the bean before the body. 2. The gravity shock of rising too fast. 3. Swallowing digital poison at dawn. 4. The famine of an empty stomach. 5. The shock of a cold engine. The most profound lesson the sage teaches is this: your health after 60 is built on wisdom, not willpower. It is achieved through grace, not force. You don't need to wage a war against your habits. You simply need to make a new contract with your morning, a promise to honor your body's needs. Don't try to conquer all 5 sins at once. Choose one, just one battlefield for tomorrow. Will you make water your sacred first act? Will you practice the sunrise sequence? Will you declare a 30-minute technology curfew? I want you to make a public vow. In the comments below, declare your contract. Write, "My contract for tomorrow is to conquer sin napur shell." By writing it down, by sharing it, you are making it real. You are holding yourself accountable, not just to me, but to this entire community of wisdom seekers. Your vow will inspire another to make their own. If this knowledge has turned on a light for you, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with one person you love, a parent, a partner, a sibling, a friend. This isn't just a video. it's a potential lifeline. Give it a thumbs up to help this message reach more people who need to hear it. And be sure to subscribe to Wisdom Free for more secrets to a life of strength, clarity, and defiant V.